Well, hello and welcome back to the Japanese Grand Prix Take 2. Lobby is reset and we're gonna start all over again.
Yeah, as we had an unfortunate lobby error, but we are back here with a full grid. Thanks to the admins and obviously yourself for that swift and well, with the lobby getting back up and running, and we are back with TTML F4 for I believe this is round 7, I think.
Yeah,
Was
it
it round
is.
8? Yeah, round 7 for the Japanese Grand Prix. So it is going to be a dry qualifying session. I believe there is going to be a dry race, so there won't be any rain. But I did see from one of the drivers' graphic that rain was still on the card, so maybe we might see it.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We might see it. But yeah, everyone is going back out on track now. We're gonna be half an hour delayed, of course. We're gonna finish off half an hour later. Uh, as Secret Dundee now was disqualified for blocking in the pit entry.
Well, he's got a qualifying ban, so that's not gonna really hamper his situation. So yeah, we had Belgium last week. Was quite interesting, obviously, with the drivers. As I believe, I can't remember who won that one now. It seems so long ago now. But yeah, I think this one will be definitely a classic, especially with full 20 on the grid. I'm expecting at least one virtual safety car and maybe a safety car, especially with turn 1. You've got the Dunlop part, you've got the hairpin, you've got Degner 1, you've got 130R. There's so many overtaking places, so yeah, it's definitely interesting. So, with yourself, are you a lover of Japan, or are you one that absolutely despises it?
No, I am one of, I'm pretty confident to say, many who despises this track. I can get it why people love it. I mean, it's a technical track. There's virtually no runoff nowhere, so you have to be on edge all the time. But yeah, I'm not a big fan.
No, as I'm just riding on board with one of the Red Bulls, which is Ivor Bryn Mike. He does like the Japan track in Suzuka, and on his first flying lap on the medium compound tyre, he has invalidated. So he's not going to get a lap this lap. He will have to go back round again. He's had a topsy-turvy the last 2 races. He had that drive-through in Silverstone, and then obviously he had, unfortunate, a no-show in Belgium last week. So he's going to want to bounce back. His teammate, I believe, is Tonturi. I believe it is, as Tonturi is going to go through turn 1 and turn 2. He's got a Mercedes in front of him, which I believe is AJ, who is in that championship fight.
Yeah, he is, and AJ doing really well in the championship. And of course, we have Graham, who's on top there as well, but wasn't there last race. So a couple of guys were able to smaller the gap Graham had, but yeah, overall some really fast drivers here, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who can keep his car on track here and doesn't, well, basically die here.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of moves up. Oh, Leicester, yeah. As TRT Bunty gets the first knockout blow to his rival, which is Kermit, and goes into P2, but Corby in TCG in the Aston Martin goes 2 seconds quicker nearly and takes provisional pole. IMD can't beat it. He goes into P2 with a 129.5, but that is on the medium compound tyre. The drivers opting and favouring that medium compound tyre, which is provided by Pirelli, as Christensen, one of our reserves, goes into pole position. So a lot of changes at the top for pole position.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I must say 129.5 is a really good time on the medium tires. So IMD as we saw earlier in earlier races this season, really fast in qualifying.
Yeah, as Mitchell in the Alpine has retired as well, as we were just discussing there, so he will be near to the back of the grid. A lot of drivers have opted for that medium compound tyre. I just wonder if they are going to try and set a lap on the medium, so then when they do the pit stop they have the fresher soft against them drivers who have gone soft to medium.
Yeah, who knows? And I was just on board with April Charlie, who did a second lap on the medium tires and put in a 129.7. So only one still out there is Jeffrey Henny, as the looks of it.
Yeah, he is in the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo has... Oh, Mitchell has left the session, so he's having a few technical issues, but Jeffrey Henny in the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo not having the best of season, we'll just see where he goes, and he goes up to P10, so he's in the top, so he wants to maximise the distance used as he goes through one WR into the last chicane. He's got to get this bit right, because if not he will invalidate, and he goes through that successfully, and he will go through the start finish, and he will completely start and put himself in P4.
So he bounced back and is 2 times in front of TTG Kermit now. And I'm going on board with Corboy here, who's finishing off his hot lap. P2 now, provisionally, of course. Oh, as Jana retired from the session now. So I believe that is in pit lane, so not falling victim to Japan. And Corboy finishing off his lap with a slight improvement and has a 128.8.
Yeah, just looking at the times, the gap between first and second is 45 thousandths of a second. We are trying to fix whatever issues there are.
Yes, we are. So please bear with us. We're doing everything we can.
I believe there is a few PSN network issues as well, so that's not helping.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues, PSN issues. I just heard WhatsApp, Facebook, and all are out again. So yeah, all the socials are having trouble staying online.
Yeah, so we will try and bring as much of the action as we can possible, but we do apologise, and we will try and correct whatever we can as we go along. The race in TTML F4 for the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. The race that won't happen this season in F1, which is kind of sad because the Japanese fans won't get to see that nice white livery done by Red Bull. So, but they will be treated to it in Turkey this evening. But we are here for TTML F4, and we will be coming to the final parts of qualifying. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, with AJ, who has now set pole position in the Mercedes with a 128.7. Then we've got OWR Christensen in P2 with a 128.8. Then in P3 we've got TTG Corby in the first of the Aston Martins. Then in P4 we've got Graham in with a 128.8. Then in P5 we've got the other Mercedes, which is FRL Charlie with a 128.9. Then we dip into the 129s with TRT Corby in P6 with a 129.4. Then in 7th we've got Imad. He was, I believe, the pole sitter 2 rounds ago in Silverstone in with a 129.5 in P7. And in P8 we've got OWR Atlantis Copo in with a 129.3. Then in P9 we've got one of the championship rivals, which is TTG Kermit in at P9 with a 129.6. Then in P10 and running off the top 10 is Jeffrey Henny with a 129.6 in the Alfa Romeo. Then his teammate in yellow Alfa Romeo is in P11, which is Storm72 underscore UK with a 129.7. Then in P12 it's Scuba Steve with a 129.7. So a lot of drivers in the 128s and the 129. Then in P13 at the moment, he has DNF'd, is EWS, Ivor, Bryn, Mike on the mediums, the highest of the mediums with a 129.9. He probably felt he could go a lot quicker. Then in P14, we have NSR Raymeter with a 129.9. Then we've got in P15 of the runners left in qualifying with a 130.8 is Turtenturi. The drivers not to have set a lap at the moment, well, they are technically now out of qualifying, is Lesty the Twig in P16, OFR Maximus in P17, Mitchell P18, Jan in P19, then Secret Dundee with a DSQ in P20. So the McLarens will be at the back of the grid after what they had a fantastic race in Belgium.
Yeah, they did some nice qualifying they did in Belgium, and Jan and Secret Dundee both really fast guys, as Scuba Steve is rounding off his lap now and puts in a 129.2, which puts him into 6th position for now. He won't be able to set another lap, but some others are. Let's switch on board with Kermit now, who's entering the final sector. Really long straight here. It isn't. If you get the right setup, you are able to overtake there on that straight. Kermit going 4/10 quicker than his previous time, so maybe he can scave off a little in his final sector. Rounding up, crossing the finish in a 129.0, so a good time from Kermit as well, and he passed Bunty in the standings so far.
Yeah, is that the final knockout blow by Kermit on TRT Bunny? Just a quick mention, while we've been doing qualifying, Ivor Bryn Mike, since his DNF, has managed to go to his shop and get back in time. Fair play to the guy for absolutely managing to do that with 50 seconds left on the clock. Will anybody take AJ's pole away from him? Scuba Steve is still out on a lap at the moment, and so is Kermit, but everybody else is on an out lap with 40 seconds left on the clock. Is anybody going to make that line? It is going to be absolutely down to the wire in qualifying for TTML F4 for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yes, it absolutely is, and AJ and Charlie seems to be the front runners here, so they won't be held up in any traffic, but the guys behind them could suffer some because of dirty air. They have to leave enough of a gap to make this work. But let's go on board now with Aju, our provisional pole sitter, and see if he can scave off some time of his 128.7 he did previously. Going through turn 1, leaving space on the exit there. You definitely don't want to touch any of these curbs. It is possible with some, but most of them will spin your car. Taking a nice line through here. Going almost full throttle, and now a really quick corner here. Not know the names here, I'm really sorry about that. Down to 3rd, into 4th, short shifting, full throttle, and coming up to the hairpin. Have to be careful on throttle here. If you take it wrong, you can go to the left into the wall. But AJ coming through here, fine as it is now. Going through Spoon, another one you have to be careful on throttle, especially on the second part here, because of the nature of the corner. Long straight for AJ. Let's see what his sector time is here, and he just scaped away 1/10 of a second. So looking for a 128.6, maybe a 128.5 if he has some time here. Nice cutting of the chicane, final corner here. Opening up DRS, and that's his lap, 128.721 for AJ.
As I'm going to ride on board with OWR Christensen, he's going to have to let the Aston Martin of Corby go through. Charlie has finished, not moved up. Can Corby take the pole position? He's going to come through 1WR into the last chicane. Is he going to beat AJ or Christensen as he negotiates the final chicane, as Graham sets the fastest lap with, well, pole position? That is a 128.7. But Corby, it is an Aston Martin pole and P2. So that's an Aston Martin first and second on the front row. Fantastic from the Aston Martins.
It really is fantastic from the Aston Martins, and Graham proving again why he's the championship leader here. Corby just in front of him, and Bunty splitting the two now with a 1:28.6.
Yeah, wow, what a finish there. 2 qualifying session. And it's TTG Corby who takes pole position in TTML F4 for round number 7 for the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. Fantastic lap for the Irishman as he puts that Aston Martin in P1. Then we've got TRT Bunty in P2 for the Haas F1 team. And then rounding off that podium position in the second row of the grid is the other Aston Martin of Graham, and I will let TTG Conti round off the rest of the race results.
Yeah, and then in P4, also starting from the second row, we have AJ, P5 OWR Christian, P6 FRL Charlie, P7 TTG Kermit, P8 Scuba Steve, P9 IMD, and rounding off the top 10 is OWR Atlas Copo. IMD, by the way, only one qualifying on the mediums inside of the top 10. Then in 11th position we have Jeffrey Henney, 12th Storm, 13th Ivor Brian Mike, 14 Ray Meeder, 15 Tunturi, 16 Leslie the Twig, 17 Maximus, P18 Mitchell, P19 Jana, and starting from the back because he has a qualifying ban is Secret Dundee.
So that is your grid for the qualifying session done, and we are going to get into a formation lap, then a 50% race, which is 27 laps of the iconic track in Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's going to be very crucial down into turn 1 for TTG Corby and TRT Bunty. Also, Graham could get in that fight as he potentially wants to extend that championship run. What would be your kind of strategy going into that turn 1, as it is kind of a tricky one?
Yeah, it is, and because of the nature of the corner, it looks to be a wide corner and is really inviting to go down the inside. But yeah, I would just take it careful and slid in if needed, and don't go for anything for any overtaking there at lap 1, as it can cost you your race, and maybe sorry, and maybe someone else's race as well.
Yeah, so it looks to be a dry race start. We may see some rain. I'm not quite sure what the weather is gonna happen, but it's all sunny in Japan for what should be a fantastic race. We've got 20 of some of the finest drivers in TTML, and it will be lights out very soon as the drivers are now going to start their one formation lap. Everybody down from P1 to P8 is on the soft compound tyre, which is part of the Pirelli C2, C3 and C4, which is the soft, medium and the hard compound tyre, the soft being the fastest of the Pirelli range. Then the mediums are roughly just behind them, with the longevity and the long lasting behind them. Then you've got the hardest of the hard tyres, which is the hard tyre compound, the long lasting tyres, should I say, and they will last the longest if there is a safety car. You can pretty much go on them and go to the end, but I suspect we will see a one-stop strategy here, which is the soft to medium or the medium to soft, whichever they opt to choose. But the top 8 are on the softs. Then we've got in P9, we've got the first of the medium runners, which is IMD. Then in P10 is Atlantis Copo on the soft. Then P11, P12 and P13 all on the mediums. Then Raymead is on the softs. Then P15, P16 and P17 are all on the mediums. Then Mitchell is on the soft. I don't think he's back in the session. Then the 2 McLarens have opted for the mediums. So a lot of the drivers have opted for the mediums, and quite a lot have opted for the soft. So it is going to be an interesting one as we are now coming to the end of the formation lap, as it's going to be an Aston Martin on that front row, and it's going to be hit TTG Corby versus TRT Bunty for lights out in TTML F4, as they are now going to come round out of swoon into what will be 130R as we will get ready for 27 laps of the iconic track in Japan, which is in Suzuka. So a few iconic races down the pass. I believe Michael Schumacher, one of the fantastic drivers in Formula One, 7-time world champion, has won quite a few Japanese Grand Prix. So I wonder if TTG Corby wants to add his name to that list, as the drivers are now coming into the grid slots for lights out in TTML F4 for round 7. It's been an epic championship so far, but it's not going to stop here in TTML F4. We are now going to be getting into them grid slots for lights out, as the drivers are now getting into their grid slots, and we'll just take a brief second for them drivers to get into their grid slots. So we will get underway very shortly, as the drivers are now in their final grid slots. We'll just get a nice camera angle as we now wait for the 5 red lights from race control. As 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights. And I believe there is a little waiting. Oh, no, Mitchell's car. And it's lights out, and away we go in TTML F4 for the Japanese Grand Prix. It looks like Bunty has already got the move done on Corby, and TRT Bunty takes the race lead in lap 1, as AJ has dropped down to... No, he's got himself up to P2, it looks to be. And my leaderboard is all over the place. And Corby has dropped all the way down to P3.
Yeah, and Graham dropped the position as well, and we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, but it was really briefly. But yeah, a great start from TRT Bunty, and an even better start from Aju here, and these guys are in P1 and P2 now. But who knows, maybe Corby can fight back in the later stages of the race.
Yeah, it is going to be quite interesting, because Corby... Oh, a yellow flag's in Sector 2. I believe that is Mitchell's car that is in AI, that is causing a few issues, as we are now going to come round into Spoon into 1WR. No DRS activated on lap 1. It will be in a few laps' time. But it looks like TRT Bunty has a 5/10th gap, apologies there, on AJ already. But it seems to be that he's able to keep that gap nice and long for him at the moment. But AJ is right on the back of that Haas, as they now will complete the end of lap 1 of 27, as TRT Bunty sets the fastest lap so far in the race, as AJ is going to have to start defending, it looks like, from TTG Corby.
Yeah, he most definitely does need to do that, and we have
Imadi's out of the race. What has happened there? And there's a virtual safety car. A Storm 72 is out as well. So it's... And a Christensen has no front wing. Virtual safety car on lap 2.
That's a really early virtual safety car, as Secret Dundee and Ray Meeder were in the pits to, I think, replace their front wing. But yeah, really eventful 2 laps so far. But yeah, the first 2 we're missing now is Imadi and Storm.
Yeah, and this is not helping TTG Kermit, who is right in front of his teammate, who has that broken wing. So luckily it's all under a virtual safety car. I was expecting maybe a safety car, being the type of track it is, but we are under virtual safety car, so the drivers better watch that delta, because they could end up with a drive-through, and that is a game changer for anybody at the top, because it literally is pretty much costing you a race win potentially, or even a podium. So
yeah, we saw that 2 weeks ago with Brian Mike, who got a drive-through penalty while he was on for the podium and possibly the win. So yeah, really have to watch out and stay under the delta. But we are racing again, and it looks like nobody got a drive-through penalty here, and Bunty just
I
doing
have to
what he did
interrupt
before.
you there, as TTG Kermit has been absolutely spun around, as I believe a Red Bull got very impatient as they came through the last chicane, and that's Kermit now into the pits.
Yeah, Kermit Christian joining him as his teammate, but he already had a broken wing, so Yeah, not good. And we have Jeffrey Henney overtaking Mitchell here. I'm not sure if Mitchell is back in his car. He isn't ghosting on my end. Oh, he is ghosting on my end.
Yeah, the AI car is causing quite a lot of issues. That's why I think Storm and I'm a D DNF'd, which is unlucky. Williams have done a double stack as well, so that's not going to help Kermit at all, as he is only now coming out the pits and he's gone for another set of softs.
Yeah, so I think he's hoping for another safety car here. But let's get back into the action. TRT Bunty has a nice gap of 1.1 seconds to AJ. And
as that's Maximus around, that's Bunty's teammate. So one Haas is doing absolutely fantastic, and the other one is doing not so great.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see for the second Haas driver Maximus. Of course, a long member of our community for a long time. But yeah, he can at least carry on, I believe. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so luckily for him. But Corboy putting the pressure on AJ now. Isn't able to overtake, isn't close enough yet, but Charlie was, and over to Graham there on the start-finish straight. So Charlie moving up a position, Janne moving up a position, and oh, Leslie the Twig, completely off track. Don't know what happened there, but not good for the Ferrari.
Yeah, and just a quick mention, Jan, who started in P19, oh, Dundee is out of the race, as that is another retirement. That is a McLaren Sector 3 that may cause a safety car. It looks to have not at the moment, as it looks to be all okay for now. Doesn't look like, no, it looks like he has done it on the track, so that is not going to be great, as that is down the start finish line. As just going on to the McLarens, Jan, who started P19, it's all the way up to P6. Bearing in mind, he's on the medium compound tyre. He's got all the soft runners in front of him, so he could be on for a fantastic result if the safety car does come out and it comes out at the right time.
Yeah, he most definitely does. And as this is a track with a lot of fast corners, it does tend to overheat the tires. And of course, the medium tire being more sturdy than the soft tires, he could be in for a good result here with his, just 5 seconds worth of clean air in front of him, and he can just focus on his own driving and maybe try to catch up with Graham.
Yeah, but he's going to have to be careful because Scuba Steve is right on the back and he is on the soft compound tyre in that AlphaTauri. So if Jan wants to get that good position then, or a good race finish, let's say, he's going to have to get his car on the move, as Scuba Steve is now under 1 second and the DRS detection zone will be at the end of that chicane out of 1WR, so he needs to get a move on. I think Jan will be.
He most definitely does. And now going a little bit up the grid, Graham sticking nicely to Charlie. Charlie overtook him this lap, started this lap, but he isn't able to shake off Graham behind him. So Graham just trying to keep inside of his DRS and putting the pressure on Charlie, and probably, like Graham always does, just waiting for a mistake of Charlie and trying to profit off it.
Yeah, and I think this also will help Aston Martin because in front of Charlie is Corby, who's in the other Aston Martin. So as Graham has got DRS, but he's too far back even for a move or even to have a look, as they now come through turn 1 and turn 2 into the S section of the track. Oh, as there seems to be a battle for P8.
Yeah, it's OWR, Atlas Coppo and Tunturi Parina. Atlas Coppo moving up a position with the help of his DRS. So the only thing he wants now is make advantage of the soft tires he's on while they're still okay and create a little gap between him and Tunturi, who is on a completely different strategy. But we have Charlie and Corboy side by side here. Corboy defending nicely there as Jeffrey Henry picks up a 3-second time penalty, but Corboy definitely under a lot of pressure and hoping his teammate Graham, who's behind these guys, can help him out and maybe do something about Charlie.
Yeah, it's going to get quite interesting as they now come through the spoon, and Graham is using that ERS. He's only got around about 63%, so he's definitely wanting to get that move done. Obviously, he did miss last week, as mentioned, but he is going to look for that move. He is going to get DRS again. He is quite a lot closer. They all are on the soft compound tyre, as they will now come to the start of lap 8 of 27, so it is going to be quite interesting. But look at Charlie, he's got that toe, and the game gives me the worst angle ever. And FRL Charlie is going to get the move done, but he gets a 3-second time penalty. They're going to battle this into the S's, I believe, and Charlie gets the move done. Can Corby attack back at this? He looks to have not even going to make an attempt, and that's Charlie up into the podium places.
Yeah, that's a great move from Charlie on Corboy. Corboy tried to fight back at Charlie, but wasn't able to, and just sit in behind him. So the only thing he needs to do now is stay behind him and try to stay within the 1 second. And I'm wondering, as Graham looks fast as well, is there going to be team orders? Yes, he lets Graham go. So Graham can put on the pressure now on Charlie, and Corboy can wait up and maybe save up some ERS.
Yeah, it is going to be quite interesting tactical-wise from the two Aston Martins, as Graham has got around about 58%, and that's going up now as he is harvesting that ERS. As you can see, the red light on that Aston Martin, but his teammate is in need of that ERS as he's only got 20%, so he's probably going to harvest this lap as they are now coming through one DRS. I just wonder if Graham is in that DRS range. He is, oh, he's just about it. He's 9/10. Oh, sector 2 yellow flags. That is a Haas.
It isn't Bunty, so yeah, it is Maximus losing it again. We have Corboy. What happened with Corboy? Oh, he's trying to make the undercut work here. Do an early pit stop, lap 8, onto the medium compound of tires. Let's see if he timed this right and he comes out in traffic or in some free air to make the undercut work. And he's in leaps of free air.
Yeah, and I believe, yep, that is OFR Maximus. He has no wing on that Haas, so he is going to make that pit stop. And yeah, and I believe he will pit. Yep, he's going to go into the pit. So around this lap or next lap, we may see some of the soft compound tyre drivers as the two Red Bulls are right close to each other. So is Ivor, Bryn, Mike going to get the team order? And is he going to go for that move for P9? Tunturi is not going to let him pass, as there is an Alfa Romeo of Jeffrey Henney right on the back of these two Red Bulls. This could get quite interesting for P8.
It most definitely can. And
sector 2 yellow flags. That is and there's a safety car. So this plays into the hand of Bunny. He's going to get a free pit stop. So is AJ, so is Charlie, and so is Graham. I think Corby, or if I've said that right, he pitted at the worst time possible because he is now down in P11.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. He wanted to make the undercut. He was able to make it work because he was in free air, but yeah, safety car ruining it for him. And just look at this, everybody except Tunturi is going in front of him. So yeah, let's see. He has to stick to a delta, of course. If he doesn't, he will get penalized by the game, as in real life. Is he able to win a couple of positions here? Looks like he is, and he comes out in P6, P5.
Yeah, and what a pit stop there from TRT Bunty as well. He's only dropped one position, but he is now still the net race leader. But this does not help him at all, because this will close the gap up with AJ and Graham right behind him. But this does help drivers at the back of the grid as well, like TTG Kermit, who had that incident, and also the other drivers at the back of the grid, as we're on lap 9 of 27, so around about 18 laps there. Quite a few drivers have opted for the hard compound tyre. Would you have gone for the hards, or would you have gone, if you was on the softs, would you have gone for a medium?
Yeah, if I was on the softs, I would probably go for the hard tire, medium tire. It's really difficult to go for 28 laps on the medium tires here, especially with tire temperatures in sector 1 that can go sky high. But yeah, who knows? If there's going to be a safety car, the medium tire is the sensible option, because you can go to another set of mediums or a soft tire if it comes out a bit later.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one what Tunturi has done. I wonder if his teammate had taken the preferred pit stop, and Tunturi has had to take the high road and stay out. It is that nice green Aston Martin on for the safety car, as Lazy Twig unfortunately has now left the session after his unfortunate DNF. But it is Tunturi is your race leader. But we have in P2 the pole sitter, which is TRT Bunty. He is the net race leader, as Tunturi did not pit as the safety car come out. Then we've got AJ in P3. We've got Graham in P4. Then we've got the other Aston Martin in P5, which is CCG Corby. Then in P6, doing an impressive race at the moment, is Jan for the McLaren. And Charlie gets a 5-second penalty for in the pit. And Charlie has DNF'd. What has happened there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what has happened there. I think he just called it quits. I'm not sure why. Because, yeah, even in P19 you pick up points, and there were already 4 guys out. So, yeah, points were for the grabs. But, yeah, Charlie is out, and we will have 5 people DNFing so far then.
Yeah, as I'll continue reading on the rest of the race at the moment, as Jan is up into P6 after starting P19. I think he may be a driver of the day contention at the moment. Then in P7 we've got Scuba Steve. Then P8 we've got OWR Atlantis Copo. Then in P9 we've got the Welshman, that is Ivor Bryn Mike in that Red Bull. Then in P10, rounding off the top 10, is Jeffrey Henney in the Alfa Romeo. Then in P11 we've got OWR Christensen. Then in P12 we've got NSR Raymeda. Then in P13, unfortunately not in the session, is Mitchell 19. Then in P14 we've got TTG Kermit. And then in P15 of the remaining racing left is OFR Maximus. Your DNFs for today are FRL Charlie, Lesty the Twig, Secret Dundee, and I'm a D, and Storm72_ UK. Lap 10 of 27, so 17 laps to go. Who do you think will win this one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Bunty looking fast, but yeah, everything can happen. As we see, we're only in lap 10, and so much happened already. So, but I must say, looking good from my perspective is Jana on the hard tires in P16. If nothing, as the safety car is in this lap, so Tunturi is going to take, is going to decide when he's going to restart the race. But I think Jana is in a great position to win this race.
Definitely, as the safety car is now going to go into the pits, and Tunturi is going to get us underway for the restart in TTML F4 for round 7 in the Japanese Grand Prix. That safety car is in, and Tunturi is already bolted off, and he is already on his way into turn 1. As there seems to be a battle at the back of the track with Maximus and Kermit, but we'll keep at the front of the pack as Bunty is now going to be unleashed, as it looks like AJ is right on the back of that Haas, and he is going to go for the... No, he gets the door closed on him on this safety car restart, but AJ is getting quite impatient, and he wants to get that move done, as he wants to take the race lead from Tunturi, but he has to get past TRT Bunty first, as they will now come into... They will now... Oh, as there's a second 1 yellow flag, that is Jeffrey Henry. But we will keep on board with AJ. He's going to battle TRT Bunty into the hairpin, late on the brakes. but he doesn't get the move done. But it looks like Graham is going to have a look as well, but does not get the move done. And it's all going at the top of the lead at the moment. And somebody does want that race win, but how badly do they want it?
Yeah, well, it looks like everybody wants it really, really badly because TRT, AJ, Graham, all racing hard. They're racing fair, but they're racing hard, and they're letting each other know that they're there and that they are here to overtake and not to play. But TRT Bunty now on the back with a dive bomb on the inside on Tunturi. Tunturi keeps the position, and then there's AJ now on the back of TRT Bunty. So these three really close together. Who has the high speed setup here? Seems like they're relatively equal, but TRT Bunty going down the inside, making the overtake happen. Can AJ follow him around? No, not yet. So AJ has to slid in behind Tunturi, and this is good for TRT Bunty, who can make a little bit of a gap now between him and AJ.
Yeah, as AJ is right, and AJ is going to go for the move, and it looks like he's got the move done. Yep, he has. It looks like Tunturi is going to get swarmed as they come now up to the hairpin, as Graham is now going to have a look as well, I believe, and it is in a tricky situation for Tunturi. I think he may have to make that pit stop, but he is on 11 lap mediums as Graham is now going to have a look, I believe, as they now come up to Spoon Corner, as they will now battle it through into Spoon and then into 130R. But don't forget, there is a battle for P5 as well, as Jeffrey Henney is now out of the race, and that is the second one yellow flag. But we will keep on board. There's a virtual safety car, as Graham was going to look to overtake Tunturi, and this may just save Tunturi's race as he's right near the pit lane.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is he gonna dive in now or is he gonna stay out? I think he's gonna stay out, as Jeffrey Henney left the session after his unfortunate DNF. No, he's gonna stay out. So Tunturi here to fight as well. Bear in mind, he does still need to make a pit stop because he is on the tires where he started on. But Graham needs to make an overtake done really quickly on Tunturi, or he's going to miss out eventually on AJ and TRT, who seems to be quicker than Tunturi at the moment.
Yeah, and it just seems to be there is a little bit of a train forming behind Graham and Corby, so they need to get this done very quickly. But this VSC will not help them, as we are under VSC on lap 13 of 27. Nobody is on the soft compound tyres. They've all either used them or not decided to use them. We have quite a few drivers on the mediums. We have quite a few drivers on the hard. So mixed strategy here in Japan. And we are under virtual safety car, as we have TRT Bunty leading that charge in the race lead with AJ roughly around about 1 second. As Raymeter gets a 5-second penalty for severe collision, as we're back under racing in TTML F4.
Yeah, and a great restart from AJ, who's right on the back of TRT Bunty here. Tunturi missed out a little bit. Graham right on the back. I'm going to go on board with him of Tunturi. And is he going to make the move here? Yes, he is. He's moving to the inside here, I'm sorry, and made the overtake down. So that's Tunturi clear, but he needs to close a 2.2 second gap to AJ now. He lost out quite a bit while he was in the process of overtaking Tunturi, and TTG Corboy seems to be the second one in row who wants to take a bite at Tunturi.
Yeah, but Corby has got to be careful because he's got Jan right on the back of him, and them hards will go to the end now. So Jan needs to play this right, but he may just let them battle in front, as Tunturi is, I think, playing the dangerous game here tonight in TTML F4. Also, while we are during the race, if you are liking the streams and you do like any of the content that League Racing TV does provide, then do smash that like button and do subscribe for all the action in not just TTML. You've got BNL Esports League as well, and you've also got CWC on a Monday. Then you've got F1, F2 and F3 on a Thursday night. for TTML. Then you've got F4 and F5 on a Friday evening, so you'll never miss part of the action. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when TTML or any of the other action from any of the other leagues go racing. As
Bunty.
TTRT Bunty is out of the race, and that is a DNF, and he's lost it out of the safety car on lap 14 of 27.
And this now, I wanted to say this is great for Tunturi. It is, because guys behind him like Ray Mead and Kermit are quite a way behind him. But yeah, I think he's going to go in now. This is a perfect opportunity for him, and this is probably why he stayed out for such a long time. And there he goes into the pits for fresh tires.
And I just wonder if he is going to go for the soft compound tyre, because when the safety car comes in, it will be around about lap 17, so that'll give him 10 laps. So let's see what tyres he does opt to go for.
He went for the hard tyres. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
He could have done that laps before, just like all the other guys. But yeah, he went for the hard tyres, is in P7 now, and everyone behind him, or a lot of guys behind him, pitted as well and put it on the medium. So not a lot of trust in the soft compound of tire to make it last to the end.
Yeah, as AJ has now taken that race lead, and what a race it has been for Aston Martin. They've had a roller coaster of a ride. They were dropping places, then they've come back up, then they were battling Tunturi, and now they are on for a double podium. This situation we had in Silverstone, both Aston Martins finished on the podium. I wonder if we can have... Oh, as AJ is having a little bit of a battle with the safety car as they came out of the hairpin. Hopefully the incident from last night, he doesn't have the same incident and get rammed by that safety car. But it is going to be an interesting... It is unpredictable in TTML F4, and I can't even call a race winner or even the podium. It is very unpredictable, but it is such a fantastic race.
Yeah, it most definitely is, and I must say, this safety car is looking really good for the medium runners up front, because it saves them some tire wear. They're on 5-lap-old medium tires, but yeah, laps behind the safety car won't wear out your tire as much as racing will, of course, because you're going a lot slower, not asking too much grip into the corners of your tires. So yeah, great news for these guys. But Janne, on his relatively fresh hearts, same as Ivan Brian Mike, who's in 5th position now, are not looking too bad themselves.
Yeah, and also while we are on the safety car, I just want to quick mention, if you do want to see any of the standings or who was on the top 3 in any of the tiers in TTML, then do go and follow us on Twitter at TTML_F1, and you'll be kept up to date with all the action in TTML. And this one is for the stream chat as well. With round about 11 laps left, who will be your top 3? Get your predictions into the chat, as we will get back on the racing, I believe, at the end of this lap, or it may be the end of lap 17 maybe, as I think the safety car will be out for maybe this lap and next lap.
Yeah, I think everyone is on the back of the safety car now, so I think it's going to be going in here, and when we're crossing the line, it's going to be lap 17, so 11 more laps of racing, including lap 17. So yeah, 11 more laps, just a little sprint race. We're getting a little sprint race here, always eventful. Everyone packed up back together again, as Christian and Mitchell. Mitchell's AI, I must say, had a little battle there. Not sure what happened, but yeah, the ghost of Mitchell causing a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, unfortunately it is, as we will get back under racing, I believe, very soon. So that will be very handy for AJ, as he wants to get back under racing, I'm pretty sure, very soon, as they are coming through Spoon. We will find out very shortly if that safety car is going to come in. I wonder if it will come in. I hope it does, because I would love to get back under racing, as I hate being under any safety car. as it just, I think, kills down anyone's gap to anything. As the safety car is now going to come in this lap, so AJ is going to become the safety car, as they are now going through 1WR. Is AJ going to do the same thing Tunturi did and absolutely bolt it? He is just warming up his tyres, and he is going to get ready, and it looks like he has gone. Yeah, AJ has already bolted off, and look at the gap he's got already. He has already bolted, and that Mercedes is on that full charge into turn 1. Oh, as Tunturi is out of the race.
And Scuba Steve.
And Scuba Steve. So that is a Red Bull and an AlphaTauri in Sector 3. That will not cause, I believe, a safety car. I hope not, as we have 11 drivers remaining out of the 20 that started. So we have 9 DNFs, I believe, if my maths are correct. So no driver except from Maximus has got a penalty. I believe that is a 3-second time penalty. And fair play to Maximus. He was without a wing before that safety car. He's got himself up to P6. Jan is up to P4 from P19. So yeah, it's all to play for, and I don't think you can absolutely call this one.
No, you most definitely can't. As Maximus now on the back of Ivor Brian Mike, only 0.3 of a second. Looks like he has a lot more overspeed, but it is really difficult to overtake around this track. Let's see if he has the overspeed as well on the straight here, and if he is possibly setting up a overtake on Ivor Brian Mike, who's doing really well, Maximus, I must say. As you said, he spun, I believe, twice at the start of this race, and he's in P6 now, and only 10 drivers out on track. So yeah, every position counts now. Just finish the race and you get great points.
Yeah, as Mitchell's AI car is going to get him points, I believe, as he is in P11. So I just wonder if Maximus has got that pace and that ERS to get past Ivor, Bryn, Mike. Obviously Maximus does have that penalty, so Mike might let him through and then get him back on that penalty. And we'll just double check what that penalty is. It's a corner cutting penalty of 3 seconds, so that is going to be, it's hard versus medium, so this could be quite interesting. As they come through into the hairpin, Ivor, Bryn, Mike won't go for it, I don't think. Oh, a little bit of a lock-up on the wheels there. He is a wheel user with, I believe, he's line only or maybe no assist. So he is going to lock up the wheels a little bit. And it seems to be that OWR Atlantis Copo is going to get on the back of this train as well, as it looks like Corby and Graham are now using each other as a slipstream tow down into 130R as the gap is closing. So I wonder if Graham is going to let Corby go through, as he might be in a better position to attack AJ, who is not even a second in front, as DRS has now been enabled on lap 19 of 27.
Yeah, so still everything to play for us. Atlas Copus has the fastest lap of today with a 1:31.5, I believe. It all went really fast. But yeah, Graham and Corb are working nicely together. This is what you want to see from teammates out on track, working together against the lonely Mercedes of AJ here, trying to close the gap on him and putting him under pressure. So Graham and Corb, of course, knowing each other for a long time. Probably they're going to be in a party. Probably they are in a party, I'm sorry. So there most definitely is communication between these guys, and it shows on track.
Yeah, and I just, looking at the championship standings, I just wonder if Corby will not make any overtake attempts on his teammate, because Graham is in that pole position in the championship standings. So if Aston Martin really want to play the strategy game here, I would just not let Corby make any moves. I would say, yes, we know you want to battle, but let's just get the result and take maximum points of P2 and P3. But look at Jan. He is really closing the gap on that Aston Martin of Corby. Them hard compound tyres have just come into that right optimal range for him. And he is within 1 second of Corby. So he is going to get DRS, I think. Yes, he is. So as he sets the fastest lap. And look at Jan. Is he going to go for it? Jan is going to go for it. Mate, no, he gets the door closing him, but Jan is knocking on the door. No, he has got to move.
Corby's round.
Yeah.
I was just on board of him, making a slight mistake there, and Corby lost control over his car. There wasn't any incident between Jan and Corby. He did it on himself here. Doesn't look like he has any damage, but he lost a lot of positions there and leaves his teammate Graham alone in the fight with AJ and Jan now.
Yeah, and this would be a sensational race for Jan. If he gets himself on the podium, yeah, I think it's going to be a party in McLaren this evening. He has done everything right this evening. He has not put a foot wrong in any of the safety cars, any of the VSCs, and he is on for a podium at the moment. He's got 7 laps remaining, and I tell you what, this could be a very intense, nerve-wracking 7 laps, because you just don't know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. You don't know what's going to happen. And these guys on the mediums, and Janne and Ivor Brian Mike on the hards, how are their tires going to last? They have to save up some tires for these last couple of laps. It's still only 10 laps, and they have driven around a lot of laps behind the safety car as AJ gets back the fastest lap with a 1:31.4. And I think Maximus round.
Yep, he has got half a wing. His right side of his wing has gone, so he is back down to P10. He won't get overtaken by Mitchell's AI, is at his 32.0. Oh, as AJ has had a spin, and that promotes Graham up to P1. And AJ, oh, it is not gone well for him, and he's had a spin. It was all going so well, and that promotes Graham up to P1.
Yeah, so Graham, again, not making any mistakes, just like Jen and Ivor Brian Mike, who are the 3 guys looking to go for a podium now, as Christian gets the move done on Atlas Copo. But these 3 guys haven't put a foot wrong. Graham, championship or title contender here in P1, Janne P2, Ivor Brian Mike in P3, did everything right, and they're in a great position to win the race here.
Yeah, fantastic from Graham at the moment. But look at the gap that Jan is bringing down to that Aston Martin. I just wonder if Graham has got some floor damage or some side pod damage or anything. I haven't seen him in any incidents, but Jan is rapidly on them hard, should I say. Kermit puts himself up to P8 and gets past Ray Meader for P8. But it seems to be in these closing stages that it is going to be Jan versus Graham for that race lead.
Yeah, it is. And as you said, Janne, his tires came alive here. Hard tires, hardest here. So looks like the medium tires are going off a little bit. Hard tires are coming into play, and he is closing the gap rapidly and opening up the gap more between him and Ivor Brian Mike. So no pressure from behind. He can just focus on his battle with Graham.
Yeah, this is going to be definitely, in the words of a former McLaren driver. Oh, as Mike gets a 3-second time penalty. So that could potentially give Christensen a step on the podium. But as I was saying, if Jan plays his cards right here, he could be in for what one of the former McLaren driver of Carlos Sainz said. It may be a smooth operation from the McLaren driver, as he is now 1.5 behind the Aston Martin driver of Graham. Can Graham hold it on? Can Jan take that position? Don't go anywhere, because we have 5 laps of fantastic racing to come in TTML F4 for round 7 of the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. Will it be Aston Martin of Graham? Will it be of the McLaren of... It looks for Jan. There's the 1 yellow flag, that is, and Maximus, I believe. He has opted for the soft compound tyre, but we are going to keep on board with this battle at the front, the battle for the race lead.
Yeah, and I just switched on board with OWR Christian, who's putting on the pressure on Ivor Brian Mike with his, is it his teammate? Or is it only his, it isn't his teammate, it is Atlas Coppo in the French brand. I'm sorry, I'm completely lost here. It takes a toll on me. But yeah, definitely putting on the pressure on Ivor Brian Mike, so he isn't safe and has that 3-second time penalty as well.
Yeah, as Maximus is now about to get lapped, and I think he has now been lapped. As this part of the track, there is yellow flags being waved, so Jan cannot go for any move, but it looks to be that Graham is holding on roughly around about 1.3 to 1.5 seconds, but it is now going to close as there's more yellow flags, and Maximus is having a night to forget in that Haas, as it looks like Jan is now going to close that gap, as he is now going to come through Spoon Corner, and he is going to go down into 130R, and look at that, he's now, is he going to be under the 1 second? He is under the 1 second, so he's going to get DRS on Graham, but I think he may be too far back. He has got the DRS. He's not got much ERS. He's only got 20%. But he is going to close up that gap. Is he going to have a look? I don't think he will, as he is going to close that gap down to 5/10 as they go through turn 1 and turn 2 into the S's. And as you were right, Christensen gets that move done for the Williams Racing team and puts himself up to P3. But it looks like we have a battle between AJ and OWR Atlantis Copo for P5. So track battles are all over the grid tonight.
Yeah, they are, as a little queue formed behind Ivor Brian Mike. Christian made the overtake done. Atlas Copo looking for a move, as we have another yellow flag. That's Maximus again, who's not having fun out here. And AJ, who's fighting back. He was leading this race. Oh, big slide from him. He catches it nicely. Atlas Copo looking to make the move now on Ivor Brian Mike. AJ making moves here on Atlas Copo, I'm sorry. So everything's kicking off now in the final couple of laps of this race.
Yeah, as I think Jan needs to get a move on very soon, because he's not got long left. He's running out of racing laps left. He is going to be under DRS range, as he's only 7/10 behind Graham. This could be, as AJ and Atlantis Copa, if I've said that right, they are going to battle there for P5. But look at Jan, he is now within that DRS range. He is 5/10, and that is coming down. Is he going to go for the move? The game gives me the most terrible angle. We'll have to go on board with Graham. They are going to go side by side, and Jan takes the race lead from Graham. That is potentially, I think, our third or fourth change for the race lead, and Jan has gone from P19 up to a potential race win. What a fantastic race so far for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, this is the race of dreams. It isn't the last to first challenge. It almost is. His teammate was behind him. But yeah, great racing from Jan here. And I think Graham doing the sensible thing, as he's in a championship fight. He doesn't wanna mess up and crash here. So let Jan by not fight him too hard and just picking up points for his championship.
Yeah, as Graham coming into the hairpin, the exit before it, he did get a massive understeer. So I just wonder if them medium compound tyres are now starting to wear off, and them hard compound tyres are just coming into that right optimal area, that optimal temperature zone, because look at the gap that Jan already has. He has a 1 second gap just over that now on Graham. So I think you were right, Graham is not going to fight this one, and he's going to take P2 and extend that championship lead.
And we have Ivor Brian Mike here. He isn't done with Atlas Copa and Christian, looking to make the move back on Christian, who's in front of him. Needs a really good corner exit here, opening up his DRS. Is he close enough? He is closing down the gap, but I don't think he's close enough to make the move. He isn't. He sits, Christian keeps Ivor Brian Mike behind him, but he definitely is looking, and his hard tyres as well coming into play here, with Christian and Atlas Copa's tyres being 10 laps old now.
as Corby is out of the race. One of the top 3 drivers in this race has DNF'd through the S's in Sector 1. No safety car will be deployed as we have 1.5 laps left, and that will be unfortunate there for his side of the Aston Martin garage. But his teammate is in a race at the moment for P2, but he has got that gap of 5.6 seconds.
Yeah, so it looks like Graham, although he's suffering from tire wear, is safe from Christian. But Christian being hard up a little as well. Let's hope he keeps his nerves, because Mike really putting on the pressure on him. Mike has a little space between him and Atlas Cope as well, 1.7 seconds, so he can focus on the battle. Using his ERS here, is he able to overtake? No, he isn't. He's staying behind him. Is he going to go for a move in this next sequence of corners, or is he going to stay behind him? He's going to stay behind him, probably because he will get DRS now and going for an overtake opportunity on Christian. I think it's 3/10 here. Should be close enough to make the move. Opening up, moving to the inside from Christian for defense. Is he able to keep his position? Still, these guys are going side by side, and no. Ivor Brian Mike tried, but didn't succeed for now.
Yeah, as there is an AlphaTauri, that is Atlantis Copo, and he's gone for a speed, well, not for a speed, should I say. He has gone for a spin, and we are on the last lap of this race. 26 laps have already been completed, but we are on the final lap of this race. It is going to be Jan versus Graham for that race lead, but it looks like Jan has got that gap now of 1.3 seconds. He has had a fantastic race so far. Some might say it was a smooth operation from the McLaren driver, and I believe he is going to get the race win. He's got no penalties on the board at the moment, but he is now going to go through 1WR. He's only got a few corners left of the race, and he has done absolutely fantastic for McLaren, getting them the maximum points as he now comes through the last chicane. He's got Graham all behind him. That doesn't matter for Jan. He's now going to come and cross the line. Jan takes the provisional race win in TTML Formula 4 for round 7 in the Japanese Grand Prix. And Graham will take P2 in this race as well. And Christensen will take P3 with Ivor Bryn Mike taking P4. And it's got himself back up to P5, apologies there, after he had that spin with the Red Bull. Then NSR Raymida takes P6, and the race leader earlier on in the race, AJ, will take home a P7. Not the result he wanted for Mercedes, but he'll have to take the P7 for this evening. Then OWR Atlantis Copo will take P8, and he has no wing. And that is the end of the race. Mitchell, I believe, finished in P9 with Maximus finishing P10. We had 9 or 10 DNF, and Jan takes driver of the day for the in-game. I will get to our driver of the day in a moment, but we will get the provisional race classification, as it is a McLaren race win for Jan, who started in P19, and he has shown that he has that smooth operation on the track. With Graham in P2, then we have the driver of Christensen in P3. I believe Christensen is a reserve driver in TTML F4, so fantastic there, and I'm sure the admins for TTML F4 were watching that race and maybe just cast an eye on if a seat does come available for him. But there is the provisional race. Jan takes the race win for McLaren. Then we have Graham in P2. Then we have Christensen in P3. Ivor Bryn Mike takes P4, coming in P5. Ray Meader in P6. AJ in P7. Atlantis Copo in P8. Mitch takes P9. And running off the top 10 is Maximus of the drivers that did finish the race. Then in P11 is Corby. In P12 is Scuba Steve. In P13 is Tunturi. P14, TRT Bunty the pole sitter. Then in P15 is Jeffrey Henney. In P16 is FRL Charlie. P17 is Leslie the Twig. In P18 is Secret Dundee. In P19 is IMD, and then in P20 is Storm72 underscore UK. So I will go to yourself, TTG Conti, for your driver of the day.
Yeah, there can only be one driver of the day, and I always think it's boring to give it to the race winner, but in this instance, starting from P19, doing absolutely nothing wrong. Everything he did today was right and was planned. Janne is my driver of the day.
And from myself, I am going to give it to the boss himself, which is TTG Kermit. What a fantastic recovery drive, and he gets himself some great points for the Williams team, and I believe he picked up P5. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for TTML Formula 4, and that will be it from the both of us. We will be back next week on League Racing TV for Formula 4 for the USA Grand Prix in Texas for the Circuit of Americas, but you will be also in for a treat next week, as Formula 1, 2 and 3 will be back next Thursday for TTML with the USA Grand Prix. 3 races left in TTML this season with USA, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. But until next time, when we go to America and hit the track there in COTA on Friday and Thursday respectively at 8 PM BST time, that is 9 PM Central European time, then it's good night from myself as Storm Kings, and it's good night from TTG Conti.